How's it going, everybody? So this video is directed at Boogie2988. I'm not going to be breaking down all the dumb things that he's done for the past 5 years. There's plenty of videos all over the internet that already do that. What I would rather do is discuss my thoughts on Boogie. As I record this, it's July 21st, 2024. Which means it's been a couple days that he has came out and said that he was in fact lying about his cancer diagnosis. A lot of you that are watching this already know about that, but to give like the extreme Cliff Notes version, 2022, he came out with a video talking about he has this rare form of cancer and they're treating it. That's what he essentially did. Boogie made that video without having all the information. Now that's already pretty damning, but the thing that makes it worse is over the past couple years now, you have seen his true colors. I remember back in the day, people would call him the Mr. Rogers of YouTube, right? That's who he was. In his rambling videos, you got to see the guy behind the monitor. What I have found is, just like Francis, that was also a character. And that is a real shame. Boogie, I first started watching your videos in 2014. The first video that I saw of yours was actually your Francis Candy Crush video. Now, I love these videos because they were so over the top that you just kind of knew that, yeah, this guy is not for real in this, but that's what made it even funnier, at least to me, because I kind of more looked at it as, well, how far can you take it? I mean, if this guy's spending $380 on a game, Candy Crush of all games, what's he going to do next? I was hooked. The first day I was hooked. I subscribed right away. And then I watched his rambling videos, got to kind of know the guy a little bit. It's like, yeah, he's had a really tough past, and he has a tough life now. But he just keeps finding a way to keep trucking ahead, and that's very inspiring. About a year later, I wanted to do YouTube, and I was inspired by a lot of different YouTubers at the time. Childhood friend of mine felt the same way, and we were talking about different people that we wanted to be like. And Boogie was one of the people that I had said to him, and I'm like, yeah, you should watch Boogie2988. And he's like, what is a Boogie2988? So I showed him Francis and some of his gaming videos that he had up, his rants. And he was a fan of Boogie too, and he subscribed to him. I bring this up because when I was listening to that Locale podcast, and it was in fact confirmed that Boogie was faking cancer, the first thing that I thought of was my friend's comment on Google Plus to Boogie. Remember Google Plus? There was a comment that I remember seeing up there on one of Boogie's videos, and it read, "Boogie, you're an inspiration to me, and you are the best YouTuber in the world." And my heart just completely sank. We were watching a character. And there's nothing wrong with watching a character if the person behind the character wasn't so despicable. That's the problem. The thing that's really crushing to think about is, in his Draw My Life video, how much of that stuff is fake? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Like, how much of it is fake? How much of his videos, his rambling videos, where he talks about his past, some of his truths, I put quotation marks in the air if you didn't already know that, how much of that stuff was actually a character? A character for sympathy, for career gain. He knows people are going to be watching him because they're going to be subscribing to him and watching him because they feel bad. Do you know how much that taints his entire YouTube history? Even with the horrible stuff he's done in the past 5 years, let alone just this one about his faking cancer, you cannot deny that he was one of the guys on YouTube back in the day. In the mid-2010s, he was one of the guys. And now look at him. We already know, yeah, that documentary should never have been made. Which, by the way, I do have to comment on this. Why is his girlfriend 21? She is 3 months older than me. That makes my skin crawl. Okay? That's like watching a friend of mine be with a 49-year-old man. Hell no. I don't care how you spell that. That just is not right. okay? Yeah, sure, date who you want. There are limits to that, especially when you're on the face of the internet. Hello? Anyways. Boogie, I don't think there is any way that you're going to be able to make a comeback from this. I really don't. You have demonstrated, just on the Lolcow podcast alone, that not only do you not want to change, the word change is not even in your universe. You would play this character in front of the camera, and then when you get off the camera, you're your true self. And that's not a good thing. The only reason that you would want to change in the first place is to better your career or gain more sympathy. There's always an agenda behind it. Anytime you would make any of those videos. I remember back in 2020, you made a video talking about starting over in 2020. You're going to think before you speak. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're not going to say stuff on Twitter. Then you do say stuff on Twitter. You don't want to change. You want to continue to be the victim. Just like Keemstar has said, just like Destiny, everybody has said that to you at some point in your YouTube career. I was going to say your life, which is probably true, but in your YouTube career, especially as of recently, yeah, you would do some stupid stuff, but again, you were Mr. Rogers and you could do no wrong, and even any little mistake that you made, you just use the I had a dark past. Some people are saying they're not entirely sure if that's true, but let's assume that it is. The way that I see it is that when you build a following on the internet and you have impressionable, let's just say it, impressionable kids watching. 2014, I was 11 years old when I started watching Boogie. That's an impressionable age. Even if they don't know it, kids at that age are looking up to other people as role models, guidance, and it's sickening to think that the guy that we see now was probably, to a lot of kids at that time, viewed as a father figure. Think about that for a second. Am I the only one that is taking that to an extreme? I hate for this to be such a dark video, but it's true. I mean, the more unhinged Boogie became, the more disconnected that I felt with the guy that I subscribed to. I didn't subscribe to this. None of us did. We were subscribed to the guy that was quite wise, entertaining, uplifting. And what we got was a self-centered, selfish, narcissistic prick that I don't even think values any of his subscribers. Whenever I would watch a Boogie video as of recent, I just clicked off of it just feeling disgusted. Or just feeling like, oh man, why did I watch that? That's never a good sign. Boogie, it's over. Now, like I said, as I record this, it's July 21st, 2024. And the Lolcow podcast Twitter has tweeted that they'll be live tomorrow night, and Boogie is going to be a special guest on tomorrow's show. Is he going to be returning? Now I'm going to make this part really quick here, just to prove how bad Boogie really messed it up with me. Keemstar has always rubbed me the wrong way. I was never really a fan of his per se. But when he had to make that decision to fire Boogie, I do genuinely believe, and I could kind of see it too as I was watching it, I kind of felt bad for Keem. You could tell just how conflicted he is. And believe me, I get it. I mean, here's a guy that fits the description of your show. I mean, you kind of made your show around him. Yeah, I know there's other people that are on the show, but he's the show. He's your number one guy. And you gotta fire him because he was being himself. Yeah, I understand that. The day that I actually vouched and felt sympathy for Keemstar over Boogie2988 by a long shot was a day that I would never have had a nightmare about, let alone have it become reality. Is this a nightmare? Probably. So Boogie, my last words to you is going to be this. No one will ever trust you again. So that's really all I have to say. If you would like Boogie, you can go ahead and leave a comment, but I don't know what you'd say at this point. I mean, and I'm sorry isn't going to be enough, because I, along with really all your fans, are hurt and betrayed, misled in a lot of ways. To me, there's nothing redeemable about that. This isn't a one-time thing, dude. And already, if this was a one-time mistake, That's already like career ending. I mean, that's fatal, dude. But this is like years of stuff very much like this. It hasn't gotten to that level where you're straight up faking cancer. But now that you've done that, to me, that's the final nail in the coffin. And your coffin started out as a plank of wood. Now it's sealed. Anyways, those are my words. That's what I have to say. Share this video quite a bit because I do want Boogie to at least watch it. Even if he doesn't say anything, I just need him to watch it. I want him to hear words from a former fan actually being said and not typed. That's important to me. I do apologize for this being kind of a dark video, but I had some thoughts that I needed to share, and now I'm good, so I'm done with Boogie, and that's really all I have to say. Have a good one.